I want to talk about, has America's justice system been weaponized? And I wanted to do a longer teaching on this, a few minutes, and how Joe Biden is the number one threat to democracy. And here's my proof. I want to break this down. So we got to begin to understand history, and I always say teach history. So I'm a history buff. And so people, I think, who understand history better are usually Republicans. And most Democrats don't understand history. That's why they're tearing down history. That's why they're coming after statues. That's why they're trying to rewrite history. That's why they don't care about the founders, because they don't really understand history. And so people who don't understand history, I used to teach my students this, are doomed to repeat history. If you don't understand it, you will repeat it. History should not be repeated. The only way it does is if we learn from it. So we have to first understand that nobody has thrown their political opponents in jail in America ever. There's never been a prosecution of a former president. There's never been anyone arrested. There's never been anyone thrown in jail. There's a reason why that never happened. We use the thing when nobody's above the law. Presidents are not judged on the law the same way you and me would be judged. Because when you're dealing with a president, there is more involved with the law than it's just not black and white with the president. There's always going to be politics involved. When you're talking about you're talking about prosecuting a politician by the opposing party. Some Democrats can't understand this. I don't know why they can't wrap their mind around the fact that, because they don't understand that in the countries like Venezuela, Russia, they do this all the time. It's a way a dictator can stay in power. And you don't have to like Trump. You can think he's the worst thing that happened to America. But one thing that used to bond Americans together is that we used to care more about freedom than partisanship. What does that mean? We used to look at it and say, I don't care if a Democrat or Republican does this or this, it's wrong. Well, now people don't view it that way. They're partisan. I'm Democrat. Whatever the Democrats do, I'm in agreement with it. That means the Democratic Party has become your religion. You have signed allegiance to the Democratic Party. You have given them your morality. You've given them everything. So we have a president. The DOJ is hired by the president. The DOJ, the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, was never elected. He was put there by Joe Biden, which means it's a position that he had to approve of. He likes the person. Nobody's going to put an AG there that they don't like, or that they don't want to work with, or that doesn't have their same beliefs. So he put Merrick Garland there because that's his boss. So this is the DOJ. And is Biden's DOJ, because if Trump goes elected, he would have signed his own. Joe Biden has weaponized the DOJ against. He has the DOJ going against parents in school board meetings. I'm talking about just concerned parents that don't want transgenderism, things like that, push on their kids. Pro-lifers who are standing in front of abortion clinics protesting. And then he also now he has two federal cases. He's involved in other smaller cases in New York. The number 3 in charge of the FBI stepped down from that high-paying, high-up position to go work in a local DA's office to get Trump. So the DOJ is involved in the New York prosecution. That judge was not on the judge list in New York. That they try to bankrupt Trump. This is law. They try to bankrupt him. They try to. It was like $500 million that they were trying to take from Trump in the lawsuit over his real estate, and then that didn't work. So then they convicted him, which is swayed some very small amount of independents, which is already election interference. Has already hampered down and affected our elections in ways we can't even comprehend. So even if Biden won, it wouldn't be accepted by the majority of Americans because of what has happened. And so this is the greatest weaponization. Joe Biden is clearly the greatest threat. Only people who have ever thrown their political opponents in jail is Hitler, Stalin, people like that. Russia, China, these people, this is the company. And you can use the argument that Trump is the greatest threat, but nothing Trump has done has been a threat. He was already a president for 4 years. He threw none of his political opponents in jail. He was fair under the law. He did not go after Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. There was none of that going on during his presidency. He was not a threat. You can't name one way that he was a threat to democracy. Then you use January 6th. Trump had nothing to do. It was a protest that got out of control. I believe it was planned and staged. But Trump did not tell anybody to go storm the Capitol. He did not ask. He told everybody to go home. Trump had nothing to do with that. Trump is a president of law and order. He never would have wanted them to do that. That was by the media. If you listen to the media, you'll be deceived. And so Biden is clearly the greatest threat to democracy, and that's my proof.